There always seems to come a time for me in a build where I lose all steam and motivation, and it's usually when I'm about 2/3 of the way there, and that's what happened earlier this week. But today, we're calling it quits on quitting, and I'm gonna finish this dang car camping build. So let's get into it.
The weather here has left something to be desired lately. From soaring 100-degree temperatures to afternoon rainstorms that leave us soggy, I've been dying to wrap up this build so that way I can load the gear, load the car, and head back into the mountains to enjoy the rest of the summer before it's gone. But for some reason, the final cuts and assembly of this project have been a bit overwhelming for the past few weeks, and turned what should have been 3 days of work into a strung-out week. That said, I'm so glad to be back out here, where I'm finally seeing the build come to life. Overall, I would give the build difficulty a 6 out of 10. Gratefully, these plans were made for my exact model and year of car, a 2016 Subaru Outback, so it hasn't required too much thought on my end. But I always hesitate when just following someone else's build, because you never really know how perfectly it's going to fit, and whether or not you should have double-checked or taken some measurements on your own. But I guess we'll just have to see.
Okay, well, the sun miraculously came out this afternoon, and I'm feeling really good about the progress that I've made so far, but there's always a big car that goes by whenever I'm filming. But now that it's all together, I need to get it sealed and test fit in the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up for some polyacrylic, which is what I'm gonna be using to put a couple of coats on this to protect it as best as I can, mostly from my wet gear and my often wet and muddy dog. And while I do that, I wanna go ahead and take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video.
All right, y'all, I am sweaty, if you can't tell, and it is finally break time. And for the last few weeks, it feels like it's really just been a matter of chasing shade and trying to escape from heat waves, which has meant a lot more working outside and not in air conditioning and without power. But at the end of the day, I am just still grateful that I can get some work done at all. And that's all thanks to the sponsor of today's video, BLUETTI, and their all new Elite 100 V2 power station, which you see behind me. Weighing in at only 25 pounds and in a fraction of the footprint of any other BLUETTI or just power station in general that I've ever used, the Elite 100 V2 is by far the most portable, the most packable, and the easiest to use power station on the market right now, in my opinion. But don't get it twisted. The small size and packability of the Elite 100 V2 does not mean that you have to compromise on power output and capacity. This power station easily lasts 2 to 3 days on projects like this, and up to almost a week in my car as a main power source for things like my fridge, my camera, my computer, and other camping essentials. The station packs in an output of 1800 watts, which is nearly triple the amount of output that I need to power any one of my tools, but I can also run my jigsaw, plug in my outdoor speaker, my phone, and charge batteries for additional tools that I'll need later without it skipping a beat. Now, if you're running some bigger tools in your garage and maybe you're concerned that the 1800 watts of output isn't going to be quite enough to get those things started, rest assured that the 3600 watt output capacity should be more than enough for anything other than, let's say, a welder. But BLUETTI does have things for that as well. But all of that said, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that the BLUETTI Elite 100 V2 is pretty dang perfect for nearly any backyard project or outdoor adventure that you might want to get out on this summer. And speaking of, without a doubt, this is 100% the station that I am building my current car camping setup around. Because not only is it really easy to recharge, either off of my car's alternator using DC power, the Charger 1, which is another BLUETTI product favorite of mine, or easily removable from the car to charge off of an AC outlet with turbocharge in under an hour from 0 to 100%. Not only is the Elite 100 V2 quick and easy to charge, but it's also a great alternative to a generator at camp or home. Because, hear that? No? That's because the station is ultra quiet. It really just makes it a no-brainer and is pretty much the ideal or dream power station if I could have ever designed one myself. And on that note, while I've been using BLUETTI products for years, and I definitely have a few standouts, I have to say that the Elite 100 V2 is by far my favorite product. And for now at least, until BLUETTI comes out with something else, because I'm sure one day they will figure out a way to innovate even further, this is the power station that I will be recommending to all of my friends and of course to all of you. So whether you're looking to power a fun backyard summer project, get out on a big car camping adventure, or just to have some backup power for your car, RV, or van, head down to the link in the description down below to check out the BLUETTI Elite 100 V2. Whether I've been on the road full time or just car camping on the weekends with friends, bringing my BLUETTI with me has become a non-negotiable. And especially at this price, it's an absolute no-brainer. This is your sign. Head down to the link, check out the Elite 100 V2, and get out there on your next adventure. And thank you again to BLUETTI for sponsoring today's video. With everything cut, sealed, and sanded, it was time to bring the pieces back out to the car to see how well they really fit. Admittedly, the install process took a lot longer than expected. Getting the pieces to fit just right was a bit of a hassle that could have been avoided if I had just been a bit more patient in the weeks before. Since I had already mounted the top sheet in the weeks prior, it meant that the storage piece underneath was not going to articulate perfectly with the platform. It's not the end of the world, but if I could do it again, I would save myself the headache and just wait to secure and install them both together at the same time. All right, you guys, I am so insanely toasted. I think it's already 95 degrees outside. I got the platform in, as you just saw, the top and bottom pieces, but I do need to rework the mounting points a little bit, and so I think I'm gonna go ahead and save the final install and two small surprises for the rest of the build for next week when I give you all a grand tour of the finished project. Now, I obviously will be adding all of my outdoor gear to it as well, so I'm really excited to see how it all fits into the car, hopefully perfectly, because we're too far gone now to turn back. And ultimately, I just can't wait to get out of this heat and back out camping. So until then, I hope that you guys all get outside for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, BLUETTI, for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Listen, listen. It is so freezing, but I cannot believe that I have this place completely to myself.